And this is real quick. Our vision is to get swimming more inclusive and diverse. At the same time, our vision, our mission, make sure that people understand the Black history of swim. Make sure we as people, as Black people, understand the Black history of swim. So many times I hear the conversation, oh, well, Black people don't swim. And then when I start telling them things, it's like I had no idea. So again, a great book, Kevin Dawson, Undercurrents of Power, the Aquatic Diaspora. We are a very aquatic culture. All right. So in summary, and I'm gonna turn it back over to Erica. We're a Black community and we know who we are. We came into US Masters with our own chairs and our own tables, and we literally made them accept us. So it is a good thing to be associated with Evolutionary Aquatics. A lot of people know who we are, and we hope that you find the pride in the association with us. All right. Any questions or comments? All right.
All right. Thank you, Nadine.
You're welcome.
So, as we start your journey, and so many of you, we thank you for sharing your reasons, because we're really happy to have everybody here with us. But it will help you, especially some of you talked about fear. Some of you talked about a lack of access. And that is something that happens a lot. So one of the things we want to make sure you understand as we move towards all of this is our philosophy for success is very different than what you see up there. It's not the idea that if I just do nothing or I let myself be fatalistic about the fact that it's impossible. No matter what age you start this at, swimming in your aquatic journey is worth it, and it's doable, it's viable. So just do it. Nothing is impossible. We talk a lot about positivity and having a positive outlook when you come in. If you could do this, you wouldn't be in classes. So that's okay. We understand that everybody's coming in moving towards a specific goal. And while you might not be able to do it yet, it's not a can't, but maybe I haven't mastered it yet, or I'm not getting this yet. But we never want to talk about what we cannot do because each of us is capable, and as long as we're putting our mind towards it. So that's part of the reason we also ask everybody to keep their why with them. If you can be reminded when it gets hard, but also really keeping in mind that nobody started running and riding a bike immediately. Like you didn't come out and do that. You learned it, you got better at it, you got faster at it. Like there are steps and foundational pieces, and everybody's journey is their own. So in addition to staying positive, we are also not comparing ourselves to anyone else. So really want to make that clear and important. We want to use positive language with ourselves. Each step that you take is success for you. If you are coming in and the first thing that you are capable of is going under and blowing bubbles without sucking water in, that's success. That's a victory, and you should celebrate it and be proud of it. If you have been swimming, but you feel like maybe you need better technique, that improvement is positive. There's no reason to bad talk yourselves. We are always going to support you, and we're going to make sure that you move forward in a way that you can. So we're not going to ask you to do something that you are not capable of, but we are going to help empower you to get to wherever it is in this journey that you want to be. So make sure that you are celebrating your victories. And if a teacher or one of the instructors is giving someone specific feedback that doesn't necessarily apply to you, don't feel like you need to do what they're doing. Your journey is going to be yours, and everyone is going to help you move forward on that journey. Any of the other instructors want to add anything on this? All right, we'll move on to our next.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can now, Ms. Q. Welcome back.
Oh, I don't know what happened. The recording said that there was too many people on the line, so I was muted.
Well, everybody's muted so that they can't speak the whole time, but you have to make sure that you can unmute as well. So
Oh,
go ahead and
oh,
give us your 20 seconds for why you are joining us, and then we'll keep on going.
okay. So I'm joining you because I have a tremendous fear of water. I almost drowned. I was working in Africa, and so I drowned in the lake, and I was rescued by a European person. And ever since that, then I was traumatized.
Okay.
So I go in the water, but I tremble.
Okay. All right. So we'll be moving forward from that. We
Okay.
understand.
Okay,
Um,
I will. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you. And that's one
Mhm.
of the other things I want to make sure that we talk about is that, again, everybody's journey is their own, and each step for you is important. But coming in with the understanding that you want to move forward, and you can, we will take our time and we will discuss with you
Mhm.
your concerns. And anytime someone has a block, specifically related to fear, we'll kind of ask you to talk through it, because that's also important, really breaking down the things that you may be afraid of. So
Mhm.
our location is 2800 Eastburg Road. We are at the Fair Meadows Swim and Tennis Club. So if you are looking for that, to Google the directions. Just want to make sure you know that. For the alts beginners, our class time is going to be 10 a.m. to 10:40. Making sure that you are RSVPing on the Sign Up Genius. And then we also have a Facebook group. You're going to get your main line of communication about class cancellations through that Sign Up Genius. So make sure you are RSVPing. If you just wanted to show up and you didn't, and you get there and nobody's there because something was sent out regarding weather or anything else like that, it is because you did not RSVP. So make sure you are doing that. For those of you that are on Facebook, you can also join the Facebook group. As Nadine said, information will be updated on the website. During your practice, just want to make sure. No, you can change. It's all right, Nadine.
Well, wait a minute.
During the practices,
Can I just make
yes.
the emphasis of also the importance of RSVPing through Sign Up Genius is because during the week there'll be a practice. And as Erica stated, if you don't register and you just show up, there may be a chance that you won't be able to swim, because we do have to share that with all of the groups. And so we do a little bit of pool management. So it really is important that you let us know. And another thing too is, if not enough people show up, the coaches actually drive across town or to get to the practice for you. So we just want to make sure that you're being respectful of their time as well.
How do you sign up for Sign Up Genius?
So when you get your emails, there'll be links to Sign Up Genius itself, and then you
Oh,
can create an account using your email
oh,
address
okay.
or your phone number.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Mhm.
you're welcome. So during a typical practice, I think the other thing to really understand is, if your class starts at 10 o'clock, it starts at 10 o'clock. So walking out of your car at 10, everybody is in water already. So you've already missed part of the beginning. You've missed your stretches. So it's really important to get there on time. So if your class starts at 10 o'clock, it would be safe to say that you should be there by 9:45, because you want to make sure that you are stretched. You want to make sure that you have your water beside the pool. You want to make sure that you have signed in if we need you to do that, and that laying assignments. And in general, if we have your workout written out, you want to make sure that you've looked at that. So give yourself enough time that you do not feel rushed and overwhelmed, but also in keeping safe, making sure that you stretch. We'll go more into that, but this is very important. All right, next slide.
Also, real quick,
Yeah.
if you wear a sports watch, you need to turn it on before class starts, and you need to leave it on, because the seconds that you fiddle with it, you're taken away from class time, and you're also a distraction. We will warn you like once or twice, and then after that, I've had people, I've just asked them to take the watch off. So again, if we understand everybody wants to track their things, turn it on before you get in the water and leave it on until you get out. All right.
All right. So swimwear, we want to make sure that everybody really understands there are fashion swimsuits and there are swimming swimsuits. We don't want anything hanging out. You want a swimsuit that is covering all of your bits, male and female. And we want to make sure that it is a good fit. You do not want a lot of drag. So while a lot of men do really like to wear kind of like those more jammer type shorts, they create a lot of drag in the water and they tend to sometimes fall off of your waist. And we don't want to look at anybody's crack or cheeks. So we are asking for you to make sure that you have a suit that you, one, do feel comfortable in. And there are a number of different suits that go lower on the leg. If you do not want to show your legs, there are two pieces that are a rash guard and shorts, or a fitted tank and shorts. Again, if you are wearing a rash guard, make sure that it is not loose on your body. That is going to cause drag and come off. If for any reason you're not sure about a suit, a lot of different companies will also let you ask questions, but in general, you are looking for something that is going to not impede your process in the water one way or another. If you have to grab at it a lot because it's coming off your shoulder, or it's not tight enough in the back and it doesn't, we're trying to make sure that you're not worried about something else. So with swim caps, they make a lot of different types of caps. You have a lot of options out there. There's latex, there's silicone, there is polyurethane. There's a lot of different things, kind of the material that they make wetsuits out of. But in general, what you do want to make sure of is a lot of swim caps have a logo on the side. And a lot of people end up putting that logo in the front and then just kind of pulling it down on their head. A swim cap is made 9 times out of 10 to be worn where the seam on the cap is the same parallel with your nose to your neck. So it should be going across your head that way, not across your head this way. And usually you can also look on the site where they sell it. Some companies do make theirs a little bit differently, but the seam is meant to go this way. They make a lot of different types of caps depending upon your hair length, but really being aware of what a cap is for. Be leery of companies that talk about a cap that's going to keep your hair 100% dry. Swim caps are made to keep hair out of your face and to minimize drag in the water. So usually there may be a little bit of water that does get in. Very few caps are going to do 100% because they were never made to keep your hair dry. So really want to make sure that people understand that. And as you buy a cap, I do think it is important to try it on before you come out to the pool. If at the pool is your first time trying to put your cap on, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. Figuring out what is most comfortable to you as well. Sometimes people buy caps that they think are going to fit well and hold their hair in well, and then they end up with a headache because it was too tight. There are different sizes from different companies, and there are different widths for hair, but you really do need to make sure that you have tried your cap on. And it is also okay to get it wet in the shower just to see how it's going to fit. And if it gets wet, is it going to start sliding off of your head? Because a number of people end up running into that. Excuse me. I also want to say that a lot of people end up putting slippery product on their hair before they put their cap on. And that is going to ensure that that silicone and or latex cap slides right off of your head. Couple of companies make a lycra kind of cap that can be worn under a cap if you want to cover your hair that way. But in general, you do not want to put on any kind of product that is then just going to get into the pool. So goggles are not one size fits all. you might have to try out a couple of different types of goggles. And if you've never practiced in goggles, again, large bowl at your home, try on your goggles, put your eyes in it, come up, see how it feels. With goggles, you want a seal. You want to feel a little seal so that they're on there. They shouldn't be able to just pop right off, but they also should not be so tight that you feel like your eyes are being pulled back and they're about to touch the plastic itself. So really making sure a lot of them do adjust. There are adjustments to be made to the nose bridge piece on some, the ones that you're looking at right there. For those of you that are looking at the slideshow, you'll see that there is a round nose piece, and that's how that would go on. A lot of times when you buy a pair, there is a company name somewhere on the product. And usually wearing the goggles the proper side up means that you can read the name properly. If you put them on upside down, they may fit awkwardly and you may end up with water in them. And that might just be because you have them on upside down sometimes. But it is possible to get a pair of goggles that doesn't feel good. And it is okay to have more than one pair that you can adjust and feel good about. But again, trying on your goggles with your cap before you come to know that they all fit well and that they're not going to pop off of you immediately. Road ID or other methods of in case of emergency contact info. So a road ID can be worn around the wrist or around the ankle. And basically what it has is all of your emergency info. It has your name, your phone number. If you have any medical issues that our lifeguards or medical or EMS professionals need to be aware of, it would also have the person to call in an emergency because if you are in the water and anything happens, you may not be able to tell us that information. And definitely you're not going to have your cell phone right there with you. So for safety's sake, we do not expect anything to happen, but we keep lifeguards and we are all prepared and certified lifeguards because accidents happen sometimes. And so with this in mind, I also want to mention, and we'll talk about this again as well, but if you are doing anything with your diet, if you're fasting, if you have anything going on like that before you're coming to class, if you have worked completely overnight and you're coming in first thing in the morning after not sleeping, these are things that you need to make us aware of before you get in the water, so that we can maybe discuss with you what the safest way to stay in the water. In addition to enjoying the journey, we're also making sure that it's always safety first. Hair and skin protection. Okay, so everybody's hair is different. Everybody's skin is different. We can't tell you exactly what products to buy. However, we can recommend a number of different things to you. And the first being, most pools, if they start to look cloudy or different things like that, a lot of the times, that just means that a lot of people have gotten in with a lot of products on their body. We do not want to do that. Before you come to the pool, please don't cover your body in lotion. You have just put something on that is just going to get in the water. Really making sure that you have rinsed off freshly and rinsed, for a lot of people, also making sure that they've rinsed their hair off. Don't put a whole lot of product in your hair before you put your cap on. And then showering very soon after you get out. Specifically, make sure that you are rinsing out your suit as well. And a lot of times you will need to make sure that you are rinsing out your cap. If you have any kind of product buildup because you are putting things on, making sure that you're also rinsing out your cap. So going over the etiquette with our classes, the first day class and practice is mandatory. We are going to start and end on time. So again, the beginner classes are 10 a.m. to 10:40. We're going to start at 10. We're going to be out of the water at 10:40. The next class is going to be on deck, starting to warm up for them to get into the water. That's going to start at 11. Then they're going to get out at 11:40. Next class is going to start at 12. So, and before we go in at 10, it's going to be 9 to 9:50. So really being respectful of the fact that your teachers want to start on time. And then also, I know classes are going well. Sometimes you want to do that thing that you finally got just one more time, but do be respectful of the next people coming in and make sure that if it's time to get out, that you do get out. Text your coaches if you're going to be late or if you're going to miss class. We shower before class. We rinse any excess product out. We blow our nose and clean our nose before we get in the water. Even if, definitely, if you think you are coming down with something, you need to let somebody know before you get in the water. But in general, you want to make sure that your nose is clean. We're not wearing any excess jewelry in the water, nothing that can get caught around us or, as always, create drag. We don't spit or clean our noses out in the water. No chewing gum or eating in the pool. You will keep water on the side, and you need to make sure you are drinking water all the time. I wanted to say another thing. One of the reasons we make sure that we are keeping water with us is that we might not always be aware that we are sweating, but you want to always be replenishing that water. A lot of people sometimes feel like they get cramps in the water, and it's because they have not had enough water. Very few people who have not been swimmers for a long time are aware of how much water you need to make sure that you're still taking in because you're losing in the water. And as we move towards what's important going into class, your aquatic journey does involve not being as grounded as we are on land. And because of that, you're using a lot more core strength than you have before. And so you're going to get emails that give you different core workouts. It is imperative that you take the time to start these core workouts because you don't even know how much you're going to be using your core in just floating. Swimming is a full body workout. It's different than most of anything else that you're going to be doing. If you've been doing yoga, it's very important to continue with that. Make sure you're doing your stretching, but also really work on getting long, making sure your body is always fully extended, but then also making sure that you are comfortable engaging your core. We're going to use this a lot. Some of you go out on boats and you want to be in the ocean. Treading water is important in these different bodies of water. And to tread, you're going to need a lot of core strength. So there's a lot that we're going to do in each of the classes, beginning in the beginner classes that are going to need for you to engage your core. We say it a lot, and we still get people halfway through the class that are like, man, I didn't know I was going to be using my core this much. I promise you, we won't say it just to say it. I think you're definitely going to be using it. So a little bit about us out of the water. Anybody else want to jump in?
I can do this part again. So one thing about us that makes us different from SwimMac and MSA is that we are really, when I say we're in the community. This was a triathlon that you can see a couple of mermaids in the background. We also partner with RIPE, which is a Black women's triathlon group. So if you're interested in triathlons, we can help you with that. But we support each other. We're also, everybody has a certification. We have instructors here that are level 3 master instructors. The highest level you can get is a 4, and we have 3s. So again, be proud to be a part of Evolutionary Aquatics. In addition to swimming, we also have kayaking opportunities. If you want to do a kayak tour, if you want to learn how to kayak to support our open water swimmers, we have open water swimmers as well. So we don't just stop at the pool. We're one of very few swim clubs, black, white, purple, and green, that go from getting you to learn to put your face in the water in the pool to having you going out and swimming Ironman Augusta in the Savannah River. And I know right now it's kind of like, oh my God, open water. But open water is just as mental as the pool. Once you do it, it clicks in, and a lot of people prefer it over the pool because it's more free. In addition to being in the water, we do a lot of things for the community. This year, we were chosen to support the Crown Act law. And if you don't know what that is, it's just simply legislation that says, hey, as a Black and woman of color, I am free to wear my hair however I want to at work without fear of retaliation, discrimination, anything. So this was the first time they tapped a swim club to do it. And it was a big honor. So we were able to do that. We also support Melanin in Motion. It's a bike camp for young Black girls. And because cycling is also something that we don't do properly. So we do this camp with Charlotte Bike Camp every summer just to get these little girls on the bikes. And then hopefully once we get certification, we'll get them in a swim pool. And in addition to little girls on the bike, we also work with women on the bikes because, again, we want to be out there. We want to be safe in any and everything that we do.